Hi guys, I'm going to take a look at GitHub's Copilot for CLI. Now, Copilot on the CLI is very similar to Copilot in Visual Studio Code, or if you're using in Visual Studio or some other IDE, but it works the same way by making suggestions based on the prompts that you put into the application. But this one is going to be more tailored to command line type commands, so you'll be getting suggestions for how to operate commands in the Linux context. You can also use this in PowerShell, but I'm going to look at it primarily in Linux and do several of the common tasks that I would do in Linux, but I'm going to ask Copilot for help on doing these things. So I basically want to install something, configure something, and maybe do some other fun stuff like that using the CLI, and we're just going to see how GitHub Copilot will do this versus some of the other ways that I might do it otherwise. So let's just go right over the command line and just do an unscripted demo on this particular tool. So I'm here in WSL and I'm on the command line, and I've already installed the GitHub CLI, which is just GH, and it's very similar to any other instance that you would have if you're running this in Windows or Linux. But I've also installed the extension for this as well, which is GH Copilot. And GitHub Copilot is the utility, and you see that it has 3 subcommands config, and that's just for configuring Copilot. And then explain is used for explaining a command, and suggest is suggest a command when you provide just a natural language prompt. So if I say something like this, let's say GitHub Copilot suggest find all files, all PDF files, or something like that. It will offer a command that will provide me with a command that I could run that will find all the PDF files. Well, that's a fairly common one. Find dot, that's in the current directory, and it'll look in that current directory for anything that's got a PDF extension. And then you can explain this, and it will basically just unpack that for you. Find searches the files and directories in the current directories and its subdirectories -name, and then you just give it this wildcard here, and then finds anything that has a file extension of .pdf, which is exactly what I would expect. So that's how both the suggest and the explain works. So both of these are very useful. If you find a command and you're not sure what it does, you can explain it using natural language. And if you just want to find out what a command might be, then that's where you'll get natural language. So it's a fairly powerful tool for that kind of stuff. So basically the kind of task I want to do, I want to install something on this particular instance of WSL. I think I want to edit a file using like just some command line stuff here, and then maybe configure something. And then I'm going to do something, I don't know, that every Linux person has. I think I'm going to see if the CLI knows how to get out of Vim or something like that. So that's one of the most Googled things there is. Anyways, let's just try those 4 different things and see what happens. So let's go ahead and see what we have here and do an ls on this. That's my root directory. Let's do install something. So let's do GitHub Copilot suggest install. Let's install NGINX like that and see what it says. And I want a generic shell command. And this is going to use brew. Interesting that it would use brew to do that. I probably need to tell it something else. How do I install NGINX on Ubuntu 22.04, which is the distro that I'm running? And that looks right. That looks right there. And sudo apt install NGINX. So copy the clipboard. Yeah, let's copy the command of the clipboard. And you could also explain the command, and it will tell you that it's going to install NGINX, which, okay, that's what we expect. And let's just install this. And I need to put my password in. And yeah, it's going to install NGINX, which is not a huge package. Okay, that's done. That wasn't too bad. So I had to massage the command a little bit because it wanted to use brew to install it. I guess it was defaulting to the Mac command for installing that on a Mac, but now NGINX is installed on Linux. So Let's go ahead and edit the index.html for this. And that should be in the folder cd/var/dub. Too many dubs. And then there's HTML and NGINX. Okay, I think that's correct. index.nginx-debian.html. Okay, so let's cat that. Or you could do something like this. GitHub, how do I read a file? Suggest read a text file. I mean, of course, cat would be the command I would use in this folder. And say generic shell command. And it's going to say, yeah, cat, the file name, of course. And that will just dump it to the screen. So let's exit this and just do ls on this. So let's cat index this way. Of course, you could use an editor too to change this file. So to edit this file, let's say, let's change this text here. So I'm going to copy this text here, and I'm going to say GitHub Copilot suggest editing a file that has the text. Let's put some quotes around this, and replacing it with, and let's welcome to WSL, and try that. Let's see what. Oh yeah, I probably need to put escape that command, so it understands what I'm talking about here. All right, let's escape that, and I might have to escape my my quotes here too. So let's do that. And there's some things that you have to do on the command line here that are just kind of quirky about running stuff. And Copilot suggests editing. Let's put this whole thing in unescaped quotes, and let's see if that makes a difference. And still says I can't find it. It's got that exclamation point. Command not found. Oh, they're okay. I think I need to escape that exclamation point too. And it looks like it added some extra lines in here. Lost an L on title. The rest of that, it's all right. Generic shell command. Let's see what it does. All right, so it's going to use sed to do that, which is what I would expect it to do. So if I do, and it's saying file name right there. So let's copy that to the clipboard, and let's see, I could do that right here and paste it. Let's do what's the name of my file index. Okay. Let's paste on the command. And let's see, let's do index. Couldn't open, permission denied. All right, I probably need to do sudo. All right, let's see. Let's cat that file again. Let's see if it made the change. And there it did. Perfect. So it did give me a sed command to replace text in that, which is actually pretty useful. I mean, because sed is not exactly the most intuitive, sort of command that you can put in. It's got uses some characters like to find line breaks. It's using like this. I think regular expressions is what that's using actually to search for something, and looking for a specific string, and then separates it with a slash, replaces it with this string, and then that's the file name. So, or you could tell me You could tell it to, oh, let's see, GitHub Copilot, explain the command. Let's just go GitHub Copilot, explain this command. Oops, I need to put that in quotes so that it doesn't try to interpret that. So, let's see, yeah, it's in place. That's good note, yeah. And S searches for a string, then it says separates it on delimiters, replaces it with this, and so on. You end up with that and there. Perfect. Let's configure it now. That is the root folder. Now I want to do something like configure. I want to configure something on this. So I edited a text file. I installed something with it. Let's see if I want to check the configuration for NGINX. So that's going to be in cd/etc/nginx. And let's see, I have config-d, not config-d, it's sites enabled, sites available. I think that's where the file actually is. And this is the config here, and let's do ls default. I'm sorry, cat default. And it is looking for root in this folder here. Root is this folder. So oh, it's default. Let's see what it's got enabled. Default configuration, server port 80 indexes. Okay, root. And there's that file right here. So it's going to serve up, yeah, any one of these files. I don't have to really make any configuration changes. But just so that I can change it, let's make a slight change here, just so I can configure something. var/HTML. Now let's just move this. Sudo move, and just so I can make a configuration change, and call it my site or something. And now I want to change this configuration to reflect that new directory. So anything coming in as a root right here, I want to send it to my site. All right, so the configuration, let's see, there it is, root, there it is. That's what I want to change. Okay, so very similar to what we just did. I want to, let's describe what I want to do. So GitHub Copilot suggest I want to replace, I need to put the quotes around this just to make sure, replace the text, let's just say the root in the NGINX configuration file from, let's paste in var to, and I'm going to say my site. And my site in that, and let's see what this thing says. Uh-oh, I don't even do that. GitHub Copilot, I need to put GH here. That launched the actual GitHub utility. For some reason that's not working. GitHub Copilot suggest let's fix this. No, generic command. Okay, sad. All right. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. It's going to use set again. So let's do ls. Ls in this folder, which is default. It's actually not an NGINX config, so it's actually in the default file, which I'm going to do it right on that one. And couldn't open it. Oh, I need a sudo. And that will then should set everything correctly. So let's do GitHub Copilot suggest. Let's do gh suggest restart. Yeah, need to put in Copilot. Suggest restart NGINX on Ubuntu 22.04. Generic shell command. And this is probably going to tell me to use system cuddle. Interesting. Yeah, I think that's right. Explain. Yeah, system cuddle is a command line utility for services. Restart specifies the service. Okay. Exit. All right. Let's see if this will give me a command. I want to get my IP address. And let's see, generic shell command. Curl ipconfig.me. Interesting. That's public IP address. That's not what I want. For this box. No. Revise command. What is my? I want my private IP. Which I know you can do ipconfig. Yeah. Ipconfig interface 1. It's probably not the name of the interface. I need to install the tool, which I kind of. It's in NetTools. NetTools. All right. Yeah, interesting. It didn't do that. Okay, I need to on this Linux and this Ubuntu box. Let's try that. Generic shell command. This should be an if command. No, it's not. I want my private IP address for this Ubuntu 22.04 box. I need to get real specific here. IP show eth. Yeah, that looks like a command that'll work. Yeah, that looks right. That's a 172 address, and you could do put some quotes around this and do a suggest GitHub Copilot explain that, and it's going to unpack that whole piece right here. It's grepping out the IP address from the interface, and it's just getting very specific about what it's doing. So let's just make sure that works. So curl, and it's getting the HTML that's pointing to WSL, which is what we expect. And if you pull that up in a browser, of course, you're going to see welcome to NGINX. Wait a minute, so that's not what I was expecting. WSL, that's the title. There it is. Not the command line. Yeah, welcome to WSL. It's the title, not the welcome command here. Yeah, so WSL right there. So that's what the change we made. So that's all good. So we have basically installed something. We edited a file. We configured something. Now I'm going to do the silly thing that I don't like. I'm going to type in Vim. Oh, I'm stuck in Vim. How can I get out of Vim without having to go to Google or reboot the box? Let's see if GitHub Copilot is any useful for this. So let's do WSL again. GitHub Copilot suggest exit Vim. Help. Generic command. Oh, yeah, I think that's it. :Q bang. Colon for shortcut. Q bang. Hey, it worked. Well, you know, it can even get you out of Vim. So you no longer have to Google how to get out of VI or Vim. So yeah, very useful. Use it, configure something, install something, configure something using sed, and we use a bunch of other commands in there. Few caveats though. I will say I had to kind of tell it what operating system I'm interested in, because apparently it's not detecting that this is running in Ubuntu. I figured that maybe it was smart enough to figure out that, oh, I'm running in Ubuntu, but maybe future versions will do that. But you have to kind of tell the context, hey, I'm running Ubuntu 22.04 rather than some generic bash command or generic shell command. Other things that were kind of quirky about it. It was when I was looking for the IP address, I had to get real specific with not only the OS but also the IP address of the box I'm interested in, the private IP address, which is I had to get specific there. And most of the other stuff was pretty straightforward, though. Like the sed commands, that's a pretty generic utility, so I would expect that to be true. So you kind of have to figure out what you're dealing with. So Mac OS or Windows PowerShell or Bash inside of a Linux context, we need to tell it to do certain things for the operating system depending on the operating system. I think that's probably the only thing I would say about it. But maybe in the future version, yeah, like I said, maybe GitHub will figure that out and they'll pass that as part of the context and give you more relevant feedback based on the environment you're running as well as the commands you're putting in without having to supply that, because it's kind of annoying. Other than that, yeah, great tool. It's very useful, and I think it will be something that I will be leveraging for future work in the CLI, especially in WSL, because I use this all the stinking time. So very cool. So if you like this video, like, subscribe to the channel, check it out. Other videos, also look for more content as we get more involved in all things AI.
If you like this content, please consider subscribing to the channel by clicking on the subscribe button. You can also like this content by clicking on the thumbs up or share this content with your friends, and also comment in the comment section down below. You can also find me online at www.blaze.net or on Twitter at @TheOneMule. And as always, thanks for watching.